Shannon Sharpe is doing what essentially I've been trying to do on my platform as well, which is to say, irrespective of what your friends are doing or what they're getting into, how do you have a real conversation to hold them accountable? There's some constituents that I have, or coworkers, whatever you want to call them, that refuse to hold people around them accountable for when they do wrong.
And you wonder why. You wonder why you only have limited success. You think you having success, but think about how much more success you could have if you got that envy, that jealousy, and that hate out the heart.
Damn.
But y'all write all these little catchy phrases on your little page, and it's you. You write, all you doing is writing a memoir to yourself.
Sheesh, you projected, hater.
Come on, preacher. But you don't, hey, look at this. I got this out the mud. I came from the trenches.
Right.
And you got more hate in your heart with all that you got, that you've been blessed with so much, and all you do is hate on a man that you think better. How about get better?
Get better.
Create better content.
Boom. Hit him.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna leave it alone, Ocho.
Yes, sir.
And this for everybody that's out there.
You preaching right now.
Just because you're first to do something, that don't mean you the best at it. Listen to me again, chat. Just because you're first, that doesn't mean you're the best. Because a lot of times people think, well, I was first. That don't mean you the best.
Get him.
Come on now.
So Roger Bannister was the first man to break the 4-minute mile. Is he the best mile of all time?
No.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
If I'm not mistaken, Jim Hines was the first man to run a sub 10 second 100 meters. Was he the best 100 meter of all time? No. So just because you guys were the first, or you was a part of the first to do it, go ahead, Ocho. That don't mean you the best at it. Ocho, I know we've been talking about this, Ocho.
What happened?
The Katt Williams interview is still a viral. It's at 27 million views.
What did I tell you it was going to be at by the time we come on here Saturday? I said 20.
27. From what I've been able to deduce, it's the third most viewed conversation, interview, whatever you want to call it. I call myself a conversationalist. I like to have conversations. Some people say it's an interview. 32nd is the second place. So I'm really hoping I get.E Rogan has 2. Joe Rogan, if I'm not mistaken, has a 57 million. Bill Lazar, I think that's Lazar. He's guy that came out about the USA knows about UFOs, and he had a 32 million view episode with Elon Musk.
Okay.
So I definitely think in the first, but we had 27 with 3 days.
Yeah, so you're gonna surpass his 32.
I definitely believe we can get that 32.
You're gonna surpass his 32. Now, so you'll be the second most watched.
The 57 was over a 4 year. So there's an outside chance, people gonna go back.
You might catch that too.
There's an outside chance.
If you're on day 3, and we at 27, boy, you might catch.
It's still doing about 5 to 7 million views a day.
Yeah, that's the thing when it comes to somebody like a Katt Williams who is a comedian, and when you speak, you know us, we love things that are messy at times, and it creates traction. And then the truths or the lies behind it, people can make the assessments on their own and do their own homework. It gets to everybody churning. It gets the noise. It gets to going, and everybody chirping. Everybody want to watch, and you got everybody named Mama
talking about
that guy interview.
What I think also makes the numbers on that podcast so important to analyze is that if you go to Club Shay Shay and you take a look at the cover photo, and you see that he interviews everyone from comedians to athletes, and if you look down into the actual videos, you'll see faces that are demonstratively black all throughout that. Now, within America, there's 30 to 35 million black Americans. So at almost 30 million views, you got to think of the amount of saturation just within the States. And that just goes to show you how incredibly important that conversation was and will continue to be important as we go into 2024. And for the pocket watchers out there, if you take a video with 30 million views, you divide that by 1,000, the cost per mil or the CPM, and then you multiply that by the CPM. And let's say the CPM here is $20 because the video is so damn long. Then you have $600,000 generated just from the interview alone at this current junction. But you can imagine how much money is being generated from the strength of the guests to come into the future.
Yeah. They are. I mean, I have a lot of
Everybody.
people that have reached out. People that don't really listen to or subscribe to Club Shay Shay or know anything about that. But because it was on every news network, it was on ET. Yeah. People are talking about it in the basketball locker rooms and NFL and every circle. People have talked about it. Right. And what's disappointing to me, because there are people that do what you and I do, that had so much to say. And it's only because of jealousy. Because I guarantee you, if Katt was on their podcast and did exactly what he did on my podcast, they would have never said what they're saying. Oh, that was the decision that I had to make in a split second, Ocho.
Right.
And what I always try to do is not talk over the guests. They come, okay, tell your side, tell your story. Tell it without me interrupting. And then if there's a point that I think I need to add or I need to rephrase question, okay, we'll go there. But in that situation, Ocho, I've got to make a split second. I know I got cards. Okay, I want to start at this place. But he said, I want to tell you why I came. You offer a safe place, a safe space for people to say and to get things. Okay, fine. And then he went.
He went on.
Now, I'm teed up to ready to go in the direction that I think, because at the end of the day, Ocho, even though he went the direction that he went for 30 minutes, I still had to have structure. I still had to get the train back on the track. Even though I don't think he was off the track, he wanted to get that off his chest. Now he got that off his chest. Okay, now let's get to where you come from. How did you come to be? How did you leave Ohio? Why did you leave Ohio? How did you end up in Florida as a 13-year-old with a Rottweiler puppy in the back of an 18-wheeler? How did that come about? What was the thought process? When did you know this was going to happen? Okay, what made you leave Florida and go to OKC, Oklahoma? But, man, it's just everybody got something to say. Man, bro, it's like everybody. But they never said anything. When I let Steve say what he said, when I let said what he said, when I let everybody say what they said, nobody said anything. Now all of a sudden, because it goes viral, I guarantee you, Ocho, if this video had done 2.7 million views, nobody would have said a damn thing.
No, not at all.
I love the way that he's addressing his haters, and specifically he's speaking about other podcast hosts who undoubtedly have been in Katt Williams' DMs to get a follow-up interview from the viral interview. But what Shannon is experiencing is what happens when all eyes are on you, when you're at the top of your game or a leader in the space. But he's absolutely right. No one had anything to say when it was Ricky Smiley inaccurately describing switching roles for Friday.
Not at all.
Because Steve Harvey... Go ahead. Go ahead, Ocho.
They just upset that I'm assuming you got the interview.
I did.
You got the interview. I don't think there's a space or a person out there that I think he would have felt comfortable with, where he would have been as open and truthful. With. He was literally open, because when you're talking to you, there's a certain level of comfort. There's a certain aura. There's a certain energy that you have. You know, obviously being in locker rooms, being able to talk to people, talented. And it provides a certain type of, I don't even know how to explain it.
It's a comfort level that they have, that they're going to be able to tell their side of this. They're going to be able to tell their story without any judgment from me.
There we go.
At the end of the day, that's what it's
there
about.
are very few people like that.
I'm not here to judge. I've asked you to, there have been times that people have reached out to me to come on, but most of the time I reach out. And I'm asking, if you're free, hey, get back to me. Sometimes I have to go through a manager. Sometimes I have to go through a publicist. Sometimes I deal directly with the individual. Doesn't matter. It's okay. I'll pass it off to CJ. And then CJ's like, he and I huddle up and says, okay, what day works best for you? These are the times. He came in, I'm like, CJ, okay, did he give you a time? What's his time limit? Sometimes they say, hey, I got as much time as you need. Sometimes they say, I only got an hour. I only got 75 minutes. I only got 90 minutes. I say I need at least 75 minutes. That's normally what I go. I said I normally need at least 75 minutes. CJ, is there anything that they say that we can't ask? When I had Steve Harvey, I had no intentions of asking him anything about his wife, asking him nothing about his daughters. He volunteered that. Shannon, why didn't you push back and say, well, Steve, you said this about your first wife. Steve, you did this, this, and this. Nobody said a damn thing.
Which is so crazy because this side of the internet said a lot of things about the Steve Harvey, Shannon Sharpe interview that happened damn near a year ago. We've been saying his advice is trash, and we talked specifically about the bullshit that he was continuing to coach to men on your show.
Even asked me, Katt even asked, well, say when Cedric said, when I said, there were reports that Katt said that there was a joke that he told that you stole from him.
Mm-hmm.
Said, I didn't steal no joke. He said, you know, it don't even sound the same. I said, okay. Nobody said, Shannon, you should have pulled out the video and showed him Katt joke and his joke. Nobody said anything.
It's okay, Shannon, because that's what we're for, the commentators. It's okay. You podcast. You get them to say everything that we need to hear so we can go and cross-reference from the bullshit that we saw them or heard them say a year or 10 years ago. You understand me? Shout out to Kevin Hart.
What?
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, Katt, hold on. And I said, it was tough hearing some of the things he said about people that I've interviewed and have. I'm not saying we boys, if somebody Bucket or Burns, yes, I know Steve. I speak to Steve. I know Quake. I talk to Quake all the time.
Right.
Yes, I have Said's number. When they came on, I didn't cut anybody off. When was the time that I've cut somebody off? Now you want me to cut him off. Man, but he going in. Okay.
I mean, that's the point of having that space where you can tell your truth. That's the whole point.
And I know a guy that he got so much, he always has something to say.
Right.
Now, this is the same guy. You know what? I ain't gonna even, no. Look here.
You gonna let it go? You ain't gonna
I'm gonna let it go. Because this is what I told you. And I get on Stephen A. of this all the time.
Yeah.
I say, stop giving people your audience's ear. Stop giving it. Your platform bigger than theirs.
I like that.
Sometimes success, the only success they get to taste is taking a bite out of you. Leave them alone.
Leave them alone.
Leave them alone. I'm doing what I'm doing. Obviously, 27 million people thought enough like, oh, he's sitting down with Katt, word of mouth. Maybe they saw a snippet or something. Man, I need to sit down and watch this. It's 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me the last time somebody sat down for a non-sporting event, 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 5 seconds, and watched and listened.
Here's why I really fuck with Shannon Sharpe, because Shannon Sharpe is doing what essentially I've been trying to do on my platform as well, which is to say, irrespective of what your friends are doing or what they're getting into, how do you have a real conversation to hold them accountable? There's some constituents that I have, or coworkers, whatever you want to call them, that refuse to hold people around them accountable for when they do wrong. And it's an obvious wrong, but they choose not to bring it up. Why? Because they're in the good old boys club. They're now in the business of protecting each other, and they will continue to work with each other as long as those lines of accountability are not crossed, which is so interesting because you're so quick to hold women accountable, but when it comes to people around you from a content perspective that are doing wrong, then you choose not to speak up. So I appreciate Shannon's ability to let Katt Williams pop off and speak what he's been seeing over the last several decades. And because he chose to do that, Katt Williams has become the anti-hero and shaking up Hollywood or Hollyweird up. So as the audience watching, you have to more so understand, would you rather listen to those that protect others even when they're bad? Or are you looking for a much more objective platform? Let's continue.
Remember, that's why they say linear television is dying, with the exception of live events.
Right.
Because people's attention span. Very
short.
Everybody is getting their info from their smartphone. They're watching on their phone. They're streaming their phone, iPads, computer, whatever. 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 5 seconds. Think about that. That's a cowboy game. 27 million people. There are some sporting events that don't get watched by 27 million.
Yeah.
That's what you're mad about. You're not mad about I didn't cut this man off. You're not mad about that. Oh, those are your boys and you let them talk about your boys. That's not what y'all mad about. That's not what you're mad about. You're not even a journalist. He could have got so much meat off the bone. You're not mad about that.
Right.
You're mad that 27 million people right now. My subscribers on Club Shay Shay jumped up 500,000. Damn. That's what you mad about.
Yeah.
You mad about now all of a sudden my IG. I'm over 3 million on that. That's what you mad about. The potential. Man, y'all know what's gonna happen now? Man, somebody might come throw a boatload. Or that's what you mad about.
Man.
Yeah.
But when you was biting the apple, I never said anything negative about y'all. I gave you y'all credit. I never criticized anybody because the way I look at it, Ocho, everything I saw my brother do, I said I can do it.
Right.
You know why? Because he lived in the same house I lived in. He got rained on just like I did. He had to go outside to the woods to go to the bathroom just like I did. So hell, if he went to college, why can't I? If he go to the NFL, why can't I? So if I see you guys do something, you do it. You're damn right. I believe I can do it.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Hey, you wanna tell me who has something to say so I can snap real quick?
No, you ain't got to snap on him, Ocho.
Show, because I be
Ocho,
ready too, man.
But here's see, Ocho, just like everybody, like I said, everybody this and that. I don't know why he going to this. I'm going to ESPN because they reached out and said, you know what, we would love to have you a part of our network.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
I can only judge a man through the experience that I've had with said man. I can only judge an individual through the experience that I've experienced with said individual. How can I judge Ocho if I've never been around Ocho? Man, Ocho on that fuck stuff. That's not my experience with him.
Right.
So I'm sorry, that's your experience with him. Ocho, you know what I get asked a lot, and I know you get asked this also. Man, what's such and such like? I say, I can only tell you what he's like with me.
Right. Yeah.
So for me to be able to speak to tell you what he's going to be like with you, that would be a lie. Yeah. Because I don't know.
This right here is years of media training, because think about what just happened. Ocho Cinco is asking him to name all of the people to call him out. Now, Shannon Sharpe is smart, and he knows that by naming these people, you're inserting at least five figures into the hater's bank account, and that's what he doesn't want. So instead, he completely deflected the question and taught a lesson. Hope y'all are paying attention. This brother good.
Right.
I can only speak to how he treats me and how he's treated me or how she has treated me. So, but all this notion, y'all need to stop this. And you're going to catch, you know who I'm talking about.
I don't.
Oh, they know who I'm talking about.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
Let me look at the chat. Oh, okay. I see it now. Okay.
But that's what it's about. It's about 27. Right. I mean, they make it seem like I've never had, like Steve Harvey's almost at 10 million. You're almost at 6 million. Coach Prime is at 6 million. DC Young Fly's at 4 million.
Yeah.
Sandy, I mean, I got not only do the whole episode, but I got breakout clips that's done 1 million views, that's done 2 million views, that's done 3 million views. They make it seem like I was peeling around, my pod can have 45,000 views. No, I've had episodes that do 300,000 downloads, and you wonder why you only have limited success. You think you having success, but think about how much more success you could have if you got that envy, that jealousy, and that hate at the heart.
Damn.
But y'all write all these little catchy phrases on your little page, and it's you. All you doing is writing a memoir to yourself.
Sheesh, you projected, hater.
Come on,
but
preacher.
you thought, hey, look at this. I got this out the mud. I came from the trenches.
Right.
And you got more hate in your heart with all that you got, that you've been blessed with so much, and all you do is hate on a man that you think better. How about get better?
Get better.
Create better content.
Boom. Hit him.
I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to leave it alone, Ocho.
Yes, sir.
And this is for everybody that's out there.
You preaching right now.
Just because you're first to do something, that don't mean you're the best at it. Listen to me again, chat. Just because you're first, that doesn't mean you're the best. Because a lot of times people think, well, I was first. That don't mean you're the best.
Get him.
Come on now.
So Roger Bannister was the first man to break the 4-minute mile. Is he the best mile of all time?
No.
Absolutely not.
Nope. I like where you're going.
If I'm not mistaken, Jim Hines was the first man to run a sub 10 second 100 meters. Was he the best 100 meter of all time? No. So just because you guys were the first, or you were the part of the first to do it, go ahead, Ocho. That don't mean you're the best at it. So I'm sorry, chat, to get on my soapbox tonight, but sometimes I get frustrated when some people, what they try to do, they smile and hey, I'm all for you. I'm all about this. I'm all about that. And all the while, y'all hating.
I had no idea he was going to pop off that crazy towards the end right there. But this is shit I've been saying on my platform since day one. # progress over perfection. If you produce more value than what your haters hate you for, then no one will care. Keep on producing. I don't care if you're a content creator. I don't care if you're an analyst at your 9-to-5 position. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur starting your first business. The world owes you no apologies and nothing for what you've created in the past. What are you doing to create a better future? I've said it throughout this talk right here. I think Shannon Sharpe is incredibly talented, and I really didn't get an opportunity to see his talent until the Katt Williams interview. I'm not much of a sports person, so I'm not as familiar with him from the sports lane, but from the podcast lane, he gets my utmost respect, and seeing the way that he breaks this down in terms of results in comparison to level of effort multiplied with risk taking, because bringing Katt Williams on was a risk, with the in the moment dissection or in the moment questions or in the moment way that he conducted himself when Katt was popping off comes from a place of true talent. What I've learned in this content game, as well as within life as well, is that you can put an obstacle in front of two people, but the person with the most heart will, over the long haul, regardless of the other person's talents, will win. But the people that show up with the most amount of consistency and professionalism within that consistency, and when I say professionalism, it's professional dependent upon what it is that you're doing, will be more than likely the ones that will bubble to the top. And you often see those that don't work as hard complaining or become the haters, the exact haters that Shannon Sharpe is talking about. To leave the conversation at that junction or not understand the magic that Shannon Sharpe was creating in that moment demonstrates a component of that. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. I didn't know the conversation was going to end like that towards the end, but listen, it was a lesson in it for us all. Guys, you agree with me? You disagree with me? Write it down in the comment box down below and let's have a conversation about it, all right? Until next time, YouTube. Peace!
You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell a man you can't jack. The big the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell a man you can't jack. The big the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. That bars need defibrillation ASAP. Get boxed with a straight gap. I'm reminded of mindset.